Students, let's get back to the lesson number 3 of indices and standard form. This is from the exercise 4B, book D3, question number 5 and 6. Let's start the lesson. Now, this question is a little bit different from the previous questions where we were using the powers as zero and negative indices. We have done so many different rules of indices, but today we are going to start the rules which says that when we have thirds or when we have radical sign on top of the numbers, how we are going to evaluate without using calculator. So let's start it. First of all, when we have 196 and it's under the square root sign, so we are going to start it with by taking the prime factorization of 196. So let me start it by taking the prime factorization. So I'm starting the prime factorization of 196 and it says that it's 196. So let me start it. Of course, when we divide it by 2, we get 98. When we start dividing 2 times 98, that is 196. 2 times 40, 2 4s are 8, and 2 9s are 18. So it's 49. Then 7 7s are 49, and 7 1s are 7. So the first step, whenever you see any radical sign, always take the prime factorization. If you are unaware of how to do the prime factorization, move back to my video. I'm going to share the video card on top of my screen where you're going to click on this, and then you will be able to understand what is the prime factorization, where you will be able to understand the prime factorization in detail, and there you can come back to this video and understand what is the prime factorization and solve these indices questions. Okay, so 196, when we did the prime factorization, it's basically all the prime numbers. So 2, 2, 7, and 7. Basically, there is a pair. So what we have to do, we have to write 196 equals to, it's 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. So it's basically 2 times 2 means it's a pair of 2. It's a pair of 7. So we will write 2 square times 7 square. And on top of it, it's a square root. Basically, when we talk about a square root sign has a power 2. If it's not even written, it has a power 2. And the radical always means that the power is not only 2, it's actually the power in fraction. So if it is 2 squared into 7 squared, I'm going to use this portion of my book. So if it's 2 squared times 7 squared, so what it would be actually 2 power means that it's actually 1 by 2. So we will be writing 2 square into 7 square, and the power outside is 1 by 2. When I remove the radical sign, and in place of radical sign, I put the power in fraction, that is 1 by 2. Because whatever power is here, when there is no power, it's actually 2 power. And whatever power is here, it's actually in the form of fraction. So I put it the fraction form and this way. Now, let's apply this power on both these numbers. So it will be 2 squared power 1 by 2 times 7 squared power 1 by 2. This is the multiply sign. Okay. Now, here we have the 2 power and the 1 by 2 power. Let's multiply 2 and 1 by 2. It's cancelled. Again, this 2 and 2 is cancelled. So what we have left with 2 power 1 times 7 power 1, which is 2 times 7. And the final answer I got, that is 14. So it means without calculator, I'm able to find out the square root of 196, which is the 1 by 2 root of 196, which is equal to 14. I hope this question is quite clear, and we will be moving on to the B part. Now, same goes for this one. I'm going to use this portion for the prime factorization first, and let me start it with 125, the prime factorization. Okay, the prime factorization of 125. Because this number is not an even number and it's only divided by 5, so let's start with the prime number 5. 5 times 25 is 125. 5 times 5 is the 25, and 5 times 1 is the final answer. So basically, we got 5 into 5 into 5. So let's write 125, and on top of it, there is a cubed number. There is a 3 power, 3 root. So when we write this, at first I'm going to write 125, and on top of it, in the beginning, I can write 1 by 3 power to, make it more clear. So it will be 125 power 1 by 3. Now, At this time, I'm going to replace this 125 with these prime factors, and this is 5 times 5 times 5, which is actually 5q. It means 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 is 5q. So I'm going to replace this 5 times 5 times 5 with 5q. And outside I've got 3. So this 3 and 3 will be cancelled again, and we got only 5. So the cube root, or the third root of 125 is actually 5. Hope it's clear. Moving on to the next question. Okay, now it is 1 over 32, but it's actually in the fraction form. So it means that we are going to apply the power on the numerator and the denominator separately. But since the numerator is 1, so it means there is no need to take the prime factorization of 1 because 1 will remain 1. So let's take the prime factorization of 32. Very simple, but very interesting number because this will only be having 2. Let's do it. 2 times 16 is 32. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. And the last we have 2 times 1 is 2. So many 2's are here. So now I'm going to write 1 by 32. Instead of writing this 5 root, I'm going to put the power as 1 by 5. As I told you that all the powers on the root is actually in the form of fraction, it is actually in the form of reciprocal. So it's 1 by 5. Now I'm going to replace this 1 with 1 will remain 1, but 32 will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So many 2's here. So I'm going to write 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And on top of it, of course, 1 over 5. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically there are 5 2's. So I'm going to write 1 over 2 power 5. And now the step, I hope you can relate this step to the previous question step that you are going to cancel this 5 with 5 and you will get only 1 by 2. Hope now it makes sense and now you're able to do this D part. So pause the video, do this D part yourself, and I'm going to start this D part. Tell your answer with me. Good job, students. Now it's 16 by 81 and the power is 4, which means it's 1 by 4. What do we do at first? Of course, we are going to take the prime factorization, but this time we are going to take the prime factorization of 2 different numbers. Of course, the number 16 and of course the number 81. So there will be 2 different prime factorizations. Now let me start. So I'm going to start with 81 here because, okay, don't worry, I'm going to start with 16 here. So 2 times 4. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's 2 times, it's 2 times 8, 2 times 4, 2 times 2, and it's 2 times 1. Then we have 81. Since we are not applying any composite number here, so let's start it with the prime number 3. 3 times 27, 3 times 9, 3 times 3, and the last one 3 times 1. So we got 4 3's and 4 2's. So I'm going to put directly these 2, 4 times means 2 power 4. This 3, 4 times means 3 power 4. So now at the end we get 1 by 4. And applying this 1 by 4 power on both of these numbers in the fraction, so we will get 2 power 4, 1 by 4, 3 power 4, 1 by 4. Cancelling all the powers, you get the final answer as 2 by 3. Hope it's clear. The sixth question is pretty similar to question number 5, but they are not using the powers on the radicals. Instead, they are writing the powers directly in the form of a fraction. So let's start it without taking much of your time. I hope you can do this very easily because we just have completed the prime factorization of 81 and we got 3 power 4. If you remembered, if you do not remember, move back a little and go for the prime factorization of 81 and see if the prime factorization of 81 is. So I'm going to write directly, it's 81 power 1 by 2. So I'm going to choose the prime factorization was 3 power 4 power 1 by 2. At this stage, it's a little trickier because you know that when you have power of power rule, we are directly cancelling the powers. But here, The 4 and 2 cannot be directly cancelled because they are not the same numbers, but they can be simplified because they both are divided by the number 2. So what we can do, we can write 3 power 4 by 2 you can write, or you can directly you can write 4, 1 by 2, and you can simplify 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So you are left with 3 square. And 3 square is 9, so the final answer is 9. Hope this question is clear. Stop my video, pause my video, do the B question, B part, question number 6, B part yourself. Then restart, resume the video and check your answer with me. Good job, students. Next, we have B part, question number 6, B part, which is minus 27 power. It's 1 by 3. Now, back again, if you forgot the prime factorization of 27, or if you do it yourself, I'm doing it here. It's 27. 3 9s are 27, 3 3s are 9, 3 1s are 3. So there are 3 3s. So I'm going to write minus sign as it is, 3 times 3. And on top of it, it's 1 by 3. Hopefully you can cancel it very easily. And then now it's minus 3. Now moving back to the question number 6, C part. A little, complicated, but not too much. So let's write it down. It's 16 power 1 by 4, but the power is negative this time. Remember the rule of negative indices? What did we do? Yes, in the previous lesson, previous tutorial, that we have taken the reciprocal of the number to make the power positive. So we will do the same thing. We will write. You can do it at this step. You can even do it at the last step. When you are done with the prime factorization, you can do the reciprocal. You can do at the end, but I'm taking it right now. So it will be 16 by 1. So I'm going to do 1 by 16, and the power is now positive. Now the power is 1 by 4 here. Moving back to the prime factorization, we just completed in question number 5D part here. We knew that 16, after taking the prime factorization, 16 is 2 times power 4, and it's 1 by 4. So it's pretty easy to cancel it, and we get 1 by 2 as our answer. Now, this D part. Not very complicated because it's 4 power 1.5. Now, when we have the number like 4, and the power is in the form of decimal, it's important to convert this decimal into fraction. Remove the decimal. When you remove the decimal, it's actually under the decimal 1 number. You always put the 1 number by removing the decimal. So if you remove the decimal, the number 1 is here. I'm removing the decimal, and the number 1 is here. And because after decimal, there is only 1 number, so I'm going to put 1 0 here. At this stage, what can we do? We can simplify this fraction first. 15 and 10, they both are divided by the number 5. So 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. So we got 4 3 by 2. Let's take the prime factorization of 4, which is very simple. 4, 2 times 2, 2 times 1. So we get 2 2s are 4, which is 2 square. And on top of it, we get 3 by 2. Now, this is for the first time when we are canceling the power. We are still left with the number on top. That is 3 numbers. So we will write 2 power 3. Now, what we have to do at this stage, we have to multiply 2 3 times. So we will multiply 2 3 times, and we will get the answer as 8. Now pause the video, go for the A part yourself, and then come back to the video again, check your answer, tell your answer with me. Good job, students. Now this one is 8. On top of it, it's minus 5 by 3. So back again, I told you, take the reciprocal of the number. So I have taken the reciprocal, so it's 1 by 8. And the power is positive now. No need to put 5 by 3 on top because 1 will remain 1. If there was any other number, we had to put the 5 by 3 on top of this number as well. Now, taking the prime factorization, I'm directly writing, you need to take the prime factorization, it's 2 cubed because we have taken it in the previous question. And now it's 5 by 3. Remember, I told you when you are canceling it and something is left on the number, it's still there. So it is 2 pi 5. Take the number 2 and multiply it 5 times. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 2s are 32. So the final answer is 1 by 32. Yes, you were correct. Good job. Now the last question of this question, the last part of this question, that is the F part, which has minus 1000 2 by 3. Let's take the prime factorization of 1000 first. So here we have the number 1000. Very interesting number. And let's start it with the prime number 2. So it's 2 500s are, 2 250s are, 2 125s are. Now we cannot do it with 2, so let's do it with 5. 25s are 5 times 5s are. The last number is 5 1s are 5. So we have basically 3 2s and 3 5s. Now moving on. We will be writing this minus 2 times 3, 5 times 3. On top of it, the power is 2 by 3. Now it means that this 2 by 3 will apply to this number and this number separate. So I'm going to write minus with any one of the numbers. I'm taking with this number, so I'm writing minus 2, 3, and on top of it, I'm writing 2 by 3. Similarly, 5 cubed, and on top of it, it's 2 by 3. So canceling this with this, we get minus 2 squared, and canceling this with this, I'm getting 5 squared. So it will be minus 2 squared, which is 4. Yeah. Okay, this minus sign will be cancelled by taking the square of negative 2. So it will be positive 4, and 5 squared is 25. So 4 times 25 is 100. So the final answer is 100. I hope you have understood everything from today's lesson, and we will be meeting soon. Take good care of yourself. In the next video, we will be talking about the standard form.